Has a natural transformation ever seemed sketchy to you? Has it ever felt like something wasn't being told? Well, it has for me.
He had a natural transformation. He claims natural on his Instagram profile.
He says on his Instagram, natural physique. And he has a natural transformation. But does Coach Greg think he's in fact natural?
And it led me down a rabbit hole to find an answer to that sketchy feeling. I had to figure out what was going on here exactly. To which extent were those transformations truly natural?
She went from no muscle to a specimen of a man in 3 years.
And this is one of the, I guess, top transformation videos on YouTube as far as, especially naturals goes.
At 6% body fat and tall and thinner, he's lifting world champion level lifts. It's overwhelming, the chances that it's not really true that he would be natural. Gynecomastia, ridiculously strong, incredibly shredded, building muscle all the time.
This is a mini investigation uncovering the secret behind those super impressive transformations that seem too good to be true, and in most cases, they are.
When the truth is, the person doing the transformation, most likely they took PDs, and if they didn't, perhaps it was Photoshop, the lighting, or a number of other factors.
Anything is really possible in the world nowadays, and don't believe everything that you see with your eyes.
And so quite literally, you can completely fool someone with before and after photo in a matter of hours. Doesn't take 6 months to do this. You can do it in hours.
From using video enhancements to vascularity techniques, most so-called natural transformations are far from being what they claim to be. It all starts with a before picture. Skinny, skinny fat or overweight, it doesn't matter. The point is that it starts with something that is on one extreme and ends on the other extreme. Usually they start with something very relatable and end up where most people would dream to get, which is why they can be extremely motivating. But the extreme side of it is where the problem lies. Due to social media being so competitive, it leads people to look for anything that could give them an edge, something to potentially help them achieve greater influence. Many people who join the fitness industry with the intention of becoming something better end up with false expectations because extreme transformations are the one that get promoted by the algorithm, not realizing the mental damage they could cause to themselves later down the line. Who is to blame for this? Social media or influencers? Doesn't matter. This is human nature and it will keep happening. But what is possible is to expose the techniques used to make these unbelievable transformations happen. In recent years, so-called legal steroids or SARMs have become much more popular. This chart is showing the search result of SARMs in the past 2 decades, and as you can see, since January 2015, the search for SARMs has exploded. I've already gone into detail why this happened, but people started to see this as a safe alternative to steroids and that could be bought legally. As you can imagine, this removed a lot of friction to buy it. Influencers began using this to get an edge. It gave them that extra boost to look even better. It made them look drier, leaner, more shredded and more muscular. This of course isn't healthy, but the moment people start using PEDs is when financial gain and popularity become more important than health and longevity. Something which is becoming more and more popular too is getting plastic surgery done. This is seen more often in women, but can definitely still happen with men through ab implants.
And next, you've always wanted six-pack abs, but can't seem to get to the gym. Now there's a shortcut for that.
Back enhancements,
give that definition in the middle and then it tapers off on the side like a natural muscle.
And gynecomastia surgery as a few examples.
David Lade, at least in my opinion, has undergone surgery to get rid of gynecomastia.
Once people achieve the actual physique through hard work and pharmaceutical enhancements on top, they've now achieved the hard part. But this only solves the first part of the equation. Has it ever hit you that a picture just seemed too perfect, like everything seems planned in some way? Well, that's what most professional and even non-professional photo shoots do. In this picture, the model stands there after doing a cut for months straight, a carb up to make his muscles look bigger, a dehydration process, is shaved, is covered in oil, has had a tan, pumped his muscles up, is flexing as much as possible, has maximized his vascularity, is in the best lighting possible and is posing optimally. This is without mentioning the optimized camera angle, focal length, and the quality of the camera itself. Every person who has done a professional photo shoot knows how much difference all these things can make. Doing a cut to make not only your abs pop out, but also the rest of your muscles. A A carb up is done because muscles after a long cut appear to be flatter since you haven't fed your body enough nutrients. Eating carbs will fill up your glycogen stores again, making your muscles look bigger. A dehydration process is done to make muscles look more pronounced and sharper, but it can also be done unnaturally by using what's called diuretics, which is a form of PED. Fitness models shave before a shoot to again make muscles look appear more defined. Models are covered in oil the night before the shoot to make their skin look healthier, but also before the shoot to add a shine. They are covered with a tan, since muscles appear more prominent on a darker skin in comparison to lighter skin tones. Models try to get a bump, increasing blood flow to those muscles, making them look bigger, while tensing and flexing it all. They will try to maximize vascularity, which can make you look more impressive. This can be done through increasing blood flow, heart rate and body temperature, by having short bursts of intense cardio, using intense weightlifting techniques, or using something like a sauna. Vascularity can be increased with stimulants, supplements like L-citrulline, beta-alanine, glycerol, sodium, arginine, or beetroot. And of course, you can increase vascularity by being at a low body fat percentage, since you need the fat between your veins and your skin to be minimized for them to show. Lightning is optimized to again make everything look better, and finally, he or she will pose in the best way possible to look more impressive. All this is without mentioning the importance of the quality of the camera. The angle which the camera is set up matters too. A higher camera angle will be better than a lower camera angle. The camera's focal length and settings matter, the place where you shoot, being able to focus on an athlete's strength, shooting through objects to make it look more real, shooting next to a window to make photos look more flattering, and using other objects like smoke bombs and flour to make them look more artistic. Understanding what goes into preparing for a photo shoot can become a headache for some, especially if you're the one preparing for it. But this again only solves the second part of the equation. I could make this picture look twice as good in only 5 seconds. This is the power of editing, and is used almost always. People have access to thousands of different filters to make themselves look much more impressive. Now with access to a ton of presets designed for fitness photos specifically, it has turned the overwhelming majority of fitness photos into an enhanced version of the original photo. Add some Photoshop on top to make your shoulders look bigger and your waist look smaller, and you get something that looks way different than the initial picture. With the technological advancements, it has now become possible to edit yourself in videos.
As you can see in the before photo, my waist isn't small enough. If I had a smaller waist, everything would appear larger. Everything looks pretty good, it's not bad, but my waist isn't tiny, it's not minuscule. It's normal. Yeah, I have muscle, but the waist isn't small enough to stand out against the best in the world. But now, how do I compare now? Boom! Notice the shrinking of the waist. Look how much smaller my waist is. You can tell immediately that there's been a difference. Shrunk my waist down. And how did I make this possible? Thanks to CGI.
It used to be that you couldn't trust a picture while you could trust a video, but now you can hardly trust anything online. Again, whose fault is this doesn't matter. It is the nature of social media to reward only the best, so people play the game with the rules that have been set. But with all that enhancements, it ends up giving people, and especially beginners, false expectations on what is healthy and what is attainable.
30 days! You think this is natural?
When all that gets promoted is extreme leanness and muscularity, it could lead beginners down a path of disordered eating.
I was at 1,000 before, losing weight way too fast in my opinion, like a pound a day, which is not sustainable. So we're gonna bump the calories up just a little bit to maybe like 1,400, 1,500, we'll kind of see what the day takes us.
And even PED use.
Any supplements as a 15-year-old bodybuilder? Yes, let me show you what to take. I'm currently on 15 milligrams a day of Rag 140, also 25 milligrams a day of MK677.
So with all that editing and optimization, what result would you expect to get? Well, here's an example.
8 months on a strict bulking diet, and this is what I achieved. 120 pounds to start, September 2020. So these are shot after shot of his progression over the 8 months. And you can see he's slowly packing on size, but it's being attained at a normal rate, like an actual human being. So some fat gained, some muscle gained, some water gained, you know, very, very normal looking progress here. And by the end of it, he ends up at 160 pounds. And yes, he has, you know, some fat on him. Yes, he did gain some unfavorable weight, but that's, you know, bound to happen. You're not gonna gain 40 pounds of pure contractile tissue.
You cannot expect to make progress like you see online because of how optimized they all are. They begin with a shitty picture with bad lighting and bad angles and end up with a filtered and photoshopped photo with great lighting, a bump and optimized angles. The lesson is always this: don't trust everything you see online because the overwhelming majority of it is fake.